Hey guys, so I'm going to be talking about episode 9 and 10 of The Gifted. I know I've been kind of lax with that, and that seems to be common thread. But anyways, we're going to go down with my summary, summary bits of these two episodes and my personal highlights. And we're going to start with episode 9, Out of X. So, the team of the Mutant Underground is planning a risky maneuver to assist the mutants who are being held captive by Sentinel services. Meanwhile, Reed is mourning the loss of his father, while Thunderbird is mourning the loss of his friend, as we saw with the last episode. And we get a nice little memory of family picnic and the hidden talent between Andy and his sister, and the first instance of their joint power. Meanwhile, Reed is thinking about his own illness and his past and his father, and Kate, his wife, is remembering her mom and the issues she had with her family. They're both talking about these issues, which I thought was very nice. That's one of the highlights of this show is family moments. Meanwhile, the Underground is considering what to do to help the captive mutants. John is thinking about his friend who was turned into a hound. That is an agent working for the Trask Industries. And, Andy and Lauren are finding out about Fenris, and we get to find out that Fenris was part of the Hellfire Club, which, as some of us know, is the organization that tried to turn Jean Grey, the Phoenix, to the dark side, and did it effectively. Meanwhile, Polaris is having nightmares, and it's being affected. Campbell was very badly burnt with the last episode, and a mutant is helping him heal, and he's in the hospital for most of this episode. Meanwhile, we find out that the Hound program, it turns mutants compliant and, sort of agents to be used in the field. Meanwhile, Jace is making his own plans, and, in the meantime, Jace and Polaris are going to a bar where Trask employees go to hang out, and they, seduce a, guard there in order for information, and so on. Meanwhile, Kate is processing what's been going on, and we get the first hints of Fenris Reborn. Meanwhile, Esme, the mind-reading mutant, she's very eager to attack and find her family, and right off the bat with this episode, the way the actress is carrying herself and the way the character is acting is very shady, Meanwhile, Andy and Lauren, they're both very scared of their gifts, and I thought that was a very good moment. Meanwhile, just Esme is just really desperate to find her family and, get them out of Trask Industries. Meanwhile, the Mutant Underground go into teams where, Andy and Lauren and Polaris and Blink, they go to a power station to knock it down so the Eclipse and the others can go to Trask Industries and get the mutants out. This mission ends in failure and capture of Andy, Lauren, and Polaris and Blink. So that's episode 9. Now on to episode 10, which is Exploited. So we have Jace, who's forced to concede to Campbell's wishes, and Campbell has recovered. He's very badly burned on the side of his face. Meanwhile, we're shown a flashback of, I think 2 months ago. 2 months ago, where elected official Montez is having a re-election speech, and he's having a very anti-mutant speech. And I really enjoyed this because it's very key to our times and what happened last year. Anyways, we are seeing Montez at work here, and meanwhile, Stacy, or Esme, is, finding out she's been discovered, and she goes on the run. But that was 2 months ago. Right now, the Mutant Underground is dealing with the failure of the mission. And there's a really great moment when Thunderbird has this outburst and displays his powers and, says, okay, guys, we need to, decide what we're going to do here. Andy and Lauren are both in the holding cells, while, Jace is interrogating Dreamer, who, she had altered his memories, and he's very upset with her. Meanwhile, Blink is, also being held captive in the cells. Campbell is out, again, badly burned. He's dealing with the hostages. Meanwhile, Reed and Kate are, considering their options, dealing with the situation, and, eager to get their kids back, but also not wanting to start a war and go to battle and have bloodshed. Lauren and Andy, they're being held captive and experimented on. Meanwhile, Reed and Kate, they've been given a suggestion by Esme to go to Agent Turner. So they drive off, and while they're driving off, they're looking at the various houses. And they're considering how people turn a blind eye to the suffering of others, especially mutants. And Kate is thinking, well, we used to do the same thing. Which is also another great moment of, TV, speaking to viewer audience. Sometimes people turn a blind eye, especially during the holidays, to, other people. They go and they find Agent Turner, and, Jace is at home with his wife. They confront him, and they tell his wife the various things he's been up to. And she's not really happy with the situation. Esme is talking to Eclipse, and she's telling him that Reed and his wife have gone off, but she's acting as if she is not the one who suggested that they do this. She's acting like, oh, I've read their minds, that they're going to go do this. I knew nothing about it. And she tells them all about this, and the team are gearing up to go strike, because if Reed convinces Agent Turner will get the mutants out of Trask and just put them in holding cells in the Mutant Underground, want to strike and get the mutants while they're being transferred, because it's easier. But Esme is acting like she knows nothing about all this. She just picked up that Reed went off. So, meanwhile, Eclipse and Polaris are at a crossroads, but they're also considering their future actions, and they have very different opinions of what to do next. And we get to see Campbell, go to extreme measures to get what he wants, and I'll talk more of that later. I won't spoil that right now. I try to keep this spoiler-ish light. Some spoilers given, but right now I'm not going to reveal what Campbell does, but I'll talk about more next time. And we get to see, at last, Andy and Lauren use their true powers. Last episode, Andy was very reluctant, but now they're forced into circumstances, and their powers revealed, and it's studied and recorded, and they have to deal with that. Meanwhile, the Underground goes into action, and, while Sentinel Services is taking out various mutants, and Esme has volunteered to help the Underground go into action, but then she goes right into work, and, she does her thing. And, then we get the cliffhanger reveal of something which I thought was absolutely awesome. I'm just going to show it. I'm not going to say it. I'll talk about it more next episode, but it was a really great cliffhanger reveal that something Grant Morrison created for the X-Men universe, and it was a great moment and a great, ending of seasonal cliffhanger ending. Although I would argue of all the superhero cliffhanger endings, CW's Flash had the best one, and very much of what's going to happen next. But anyways, I'm really enjoying Gifted, and look forward to seeing it again when it returns on the 1st of January. So that's just a quick review. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you. Take care. See you guys later.